Alrighty, hello everybody. Today we are going to review the third installment in the After series because I had to go back and watch the third one just to kind of remember, and I feel like I may have messed up somewhere along the way. I hope I didn't. I'm pretty sure the second one I had right about her uh, going. Yeah, going to the publishing company, right? Yeah, okay. Pretty sure that's what I talked about in this one. So this one is about her finally getting her big break for Seattle. Oh my God. Yeah, so Tessa gets her big break for Seattle, and Hardin's mom, Trish, is getting married. Landon is more out of the picture in this one a little bit because he kind of is living his own life now. And then it seems that things are going well between Hardin and Ken now, even though the actor changed in the second film, I do believe. Yeah, for who played Ken. And then we have Christian Vance, who is the owner of the publishing company, and I'm pretty sure the actor even changed for him again, too. Because who wasn't in the second one? All these actors seem to just change in these movies, and nobody seems to really care or even really notice that much, which is kind of odd. Who was the one that was with Christian? Oh, yeah, was it Kimberly that was with Christian, I do believe? And we obviously have, from the end of the second movie, um, Tessa finding out that her dad is alive, so that must have been Kimberly there. Was it? Why the heck wouldn't they have the names them in the photos? I think that is Kimberly, though, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, okay. Has to be. Christian Vance was with Kimberly. Yeah. So who was Carol? I honestly can't remember. And then Richard Young was the father, right? Was Carol was Carol Tessa's mom, maybe, if I'm remembering correctly? Has to be. Is there a photo of her mom anywhere? Do 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 do. Oh, come on. You would think there would be at least one, because I'm pretty sure she is in the movie for at least the opening credit scene. She's in it, or the very beginning of the movie. She's in it where Tessa's dad leaves. And yeah, this is still kind of a very toxic relationship between Tessa and Hardin, obviously. And it just seems to be, they kind of do solve their problems with sex, that's for sure, which is not healthy in any way, shape, or form. But I guess it is what it is. And it seems that Hardin is kind of trying to change in this movie now that I've watched it again. He starts taking up boxing classes to kind of deal with his anger issues. It seems that he's giving up drinking, at least. He's becoming a little bit more selfless, even though he may not be going about it the right way by not telling Tessa that her dad came back to the apartment and that's who is currently staying there. He probably should have told her that, but it is what it is, I guess, with that situation. I guess we'll find out again in the fourth movie exactly what happens there, because I can't quite remember. But now I'm on a Rocky marathon because I got to watch those before Creed 3 comes out. Even though I've seen the Rocky films before, it's been quite some time, and it's amazing all the stuff you can forget. So yeah, it's kind of good to do a little refresher before Creed 3 comes out. And I haven't ever seen the Creed movies yet, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching those actually, to kind of see where they went. Did I say the name of this film? It's called After We Fell. Um, anyway, that was kind of a little random ramble, wasn't it? So yeah, Seattle. She goes off to Seattle. Hardin kind of feels like there's really no place for him in Seattle. So they kind of do a little bit of a separation thing for, I don't really know the timeline time. I don't really know for how long. A few days, I think, maybe. And then they realize how much they actually miss one another. So Hardin does come to Seattle with her. And then they go over to, I believe they do go over to London for Trisha's wedding. Yes, because that was Hardin's mom was Trish, right? Okay. So yeah, they go over there for Trisha's wedding, and then Hardin catches his mom and Christian having sex in the kitchen. That right the day before, she's actually supposed to end up getting married to a guy named Mike, played by Emmanuel Todorov. Okay. So yeah, he catches them doing that and kind of busts up Christian's face pretty well. Of course, Kimberly already knows what's going on because of the big shocker at the very end of the movie, finding out that Christian Vance is actually Hardin's real father. So kind of a wild ride there, for sure, in this movie. What else is there that really happens? I guess that's kind of really the whole story, to be completely honest with you, in this movie, at least. What else can I talk about? This kind of seems like a short review, doesn't it, for a movie? Uh, but that was really the main storyline. Oh, I guess another thing I could touch on was when they were separated. Hardin seems to have a hard time with nightmares, and I guess this could probably be the most significant one he's had yet. Was uh, it seems like they kind of compete at certain points with one another, as to say like, I could do potentially better than you, and Hardin does actually bring that up at one point uh, when he comes to see Tessa in Seattle, and she's staying at Christian and Kim's. He does bring that up, that he had this dream of her with this other guy. I believe it was the one from the bar that they were at when they were together near the beginning of the movie, and he was trying to make it look like he was with somebody else, and then Tessa finds out that that girl's a lesbian, so she tries to compete by making Hardin jealous with this other guy, and it's just like, oh my God, guys, why, if you if you don't really want to be with one another, why are you staying around, right? Sort of thing, kind of messed up, but I guess they're trying to make the other one jealous. Ooh, I think I'm gonna sneeze. Nope, false alarm maybe. Okay, there's a little blooper for this video. So yeah, they're trying to make the other one jealous, which seems is also another toxic thing to do in a relationship. That's for sure. But I mean, at least he does help out her father in this movie, which is probably something he wouldn't have done in the first two movies. And I know he tries to kind of play the macho guy at the beginning by trying to say that why should Tessa let her father back in after 10 years of him not being there? But I mean, he was also trying to get himself clean, even though it doesn't seem like he's necessarily done that. But when he comes back into the apartment, I think that kind of shows growth in her father too, that he's trying to get away from his old life and wants to at least make an attempt to reconnect with his daughter, even though it might be hard on him. Uh, that's probably what he needs to do, is get clean and sober and, you know, be with his daughter, right? Because she's still young enough where they could build a relationship, and she still wants to have a relationship with her father because it was probably very hard on her, and her mother from the first two movies seems like, I don't want to say overprotective. She's protective for sure, but she kind of seems to hold Tessa back in a sense, I suppose, from just letting Tessa be a normal kind of young adult and kind of live and learn and life lessons. You know, you gotta you gotta let people do what they're gonna do, right? If we didn't make mistakes, we would never really grow as human beings. So yeah, and I mean, Tessa's mother isn't perfect, that's for sure. She certainly has her flaws, and probably could have just tried to get Tessa's dad help instead of throwing him out of the house at the beginning of the movie and letting him drunk drive down the road. Seems kind of like a red flag, but I guess for the movie, I suppose it's all just part of the act, right? You would never actually, you should, and you should not, and I don't think most people would let somebody who was that heavily intoxicated get behind the wheel, like call them a cab or something, right? Um, what else? what else can I talk about? Oh yeah, the dream. So he has this dream and he tells her about it, and then in order to get his mind off the dream, Tessa offers up sex. See, that's what I mean. Like, it's just, instead of just sitting there and talking about it, they just kind of solve all their problems with sex, which isn't a healthy thing at all. Um, don't do that as a coping mechanism, because that won't make anything better. You'll always just kind of come back around to the harder situation in the end and fight about it. And if that's your only way out, maybe the two of you weren't necessarily meant for one another. But this film, I would say, the twist at the end was for sure like, holy shit. Finding out that Christian Vance was his real father, and Kim knowing this entire time, but she didn't want to say anything. And then, obviously, Trish almost lets it slide the day before the wedding, but she held herself back. At least I believe. Yeah, I hope I'm not getting that wrong about who Hardin's mom was. No, I'm definitely not. Where is Hardin's mom? She's got to be in at least one of these photos, I would think. And also, Hardin finds a journal that Tessa has been writing, and he does apologize to her for it. You would think there would be a photo of Hardin at least with his mom in this movie, but I guess there's really not. And I think Hardin's finally going to go to, or finish his schooling. I think him and Ken talked about that at one point, so he'd be the first in their family to actually, I guess, properly graduate. So that was kind of funny. And yeah, they kind of build a little bit of a relationship again in this movie. So that was kind of nice to see, because I guess technically he would be finding out that, yeah, that Ken was his stepdad and not his real dad, so that's kind of crazy. And in the first movie, it was Ken that married Landon's mom. So that's why him and Landon are brothers, right? I'm making that connection again. So I think that pretty much covers, yeah, that does cover everything in this movie that I can remember anyway. Even after watching it a second time, oh my god. Sometimes these stories really just blend together, it feels like. But yeah, at least I went back and watched this one again so that I could really find the plot points in this movie. And like I said in the very first review of the first movie, now I know these got the books must be much better, I suppose, but I'll probably never end up reading these books. Who knows, maybe down the road. I really got to get back into my reading, because I have book reviews to actually do and put up on this channel finally after a very long time of talking about them. But yeah, these movies did get progressively better, I think. Now, what did I rate the second one again? Just before I talk about After We Collided, I gave... Oh, okay. So it tied with the rating of the second one. I gave this one an 8 out of 10 as well, because I'd already seen it. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for this movie, and I guess I will see you guys in the next review. Bye-bye for now.